On this International Women's Day, I want to welcome in three female members of Congress, all Republicans. We first welcome in Congresswoman Claudia Tenney of New York, Congresswoman Stephanie Bice of Oklahoma, and Congresswoman Ashley Hinson from Iowa. Ladies, good morning. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. It's so important, especially on this International Women's Day. Before we talk about the significance of this day, the American Rescue Plan is now on its way back to the House of Representatives for a vote that will come tomorrow. Congresswoman Hinson, we'll start with you. What do you expect to happen with the bill now, especially where there is so little room for error? Congresswoman Hinson, do I have you? Congresswoman Tenney, if I have you, I'll direct that same question in your direction.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for error in this bill. $1.9 trillion bill that is completely partisan. There's not a single Republican on this bill.
I can't hear his audio.
Just tragic.
Congresswoman Tenney, it sounds like we're getting Congresswoman Bice's audio corrected. I did want to ask you, and this is the situation that we're living in right now with Andrew Cuomo, is whenever a politician comes on the newscast to do an interview, it doesn't matter where you're from, what state, you are going to be asked about Andrew Cuomo. This happens so rarely in our history. What are your current thoughts after two more women come forward? You represent a district in the state of New York. What are your thoughts this morning on the governor? And are you surprised that he hasn't stepped down yet?
I'm not surprised he didn't step down. I've called for his resignation for several weeks, going back into last year. I've also called for his resignation back when I was a member of the state assembly, when his reign of terror, as I call it, he's acted like a king from day one. Look at Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. They want to get out of the monarchy. Governor Cuomo wants to retain his kingdom in New York State, and it's time for him to resign. Even Democrats, top Democrats, the Senate Majority Leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, has also called for his resignation. Carl Hastie, who's the Assembly Speaker, he's coming close. But this is not just about sexual harassment. I don't want that, as important as it is, and we're celebrating International Women's Day.
Yeah.
The big issue here is the cover-up of the nursing home scandal, along with so many other issues that Governor Cuomo has exhibited an abuse of power. He needs to resign before he is forced through an impeachment proceeding, which it looks like he may be heading for if Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie goes along with that. And that's going to be devastating for him. And we're just waiting for our woman Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul to weigh in on this, because if Governor Cuomo is removed by impeachment or resignation, she will ascend to the governorship and be the first woman governor of New York.
It's sad that we have to talk about something like that on a day that's so important and a month that's so important now for women across this country. But it is relevant. Two more people coming forward over the weekend. Congresswoman Bice, Oklahoma City, nice to have you on with us this morning. There are more women in Congress today than ever before in U.S. history. It's pretty unbelievable. Right now, there are 120 of 435 elected members of Congress, which is a great number, but in my opinion, not anywhere near where it needs to be.
Agreed. I actually ran for the Oklahoma State Senate back in 2014 because there weren't enough women serving. We had 6 women out of 48 in the state Senate and 13 out of 101 in the Oklahoma State House. So 19 out of 149 wasn't cutting it. And I'm the mother of daughters, and I wanted to show my daughters, if you're going to lead, you got to put yourself out there. So I ran for the state Senate seat that I held for 6 years. And I think in the 2018 election cycle, conservative women realized that not all women are Democrats and that we needed to put ourselves out there. And that's why you see the incredible freshman class and so many amazing women that have joined it.
Yeah. Congresswoman Hinson from the great state of Iowa. I've been up there many times, used to work in Kansas City. So I've spent a lot of time in Iowa. There's just something special about Iowa, and Iowans will always let you know about that if you're not familiar with it. If you've ever seen the movie, it's the Kevin Costner baseball movie. Why can't it? Field of Dreams, of course. One of the first lines in the movie is he goes, "Is this heaven?" And he goes, "No, it's Iowa." So there's something special about Iowa, so I'm glad that you're on with us this morning. This amazed me. The total number of women in Congress today is up 50% from 10 years ago. 50%. And 19 Republican women were just elected in the fall. Do you expect this to continue in 2022, particularly with the Republican Party?
I absolutely do. And I think it comes down to women look to other women who are successful and they say, I can do this as well. I'm a mom to 2 boys, and it is hard. You have to balance a lot to be able to make it all happen and have it all. But I think we are proof on this screen today that you can do it, you can have it all, and you can be a working mom and serve in Congress. And I think women across the country are seeing that. They're inspired and they're ready to step up and join the ranks. And I've already had a number of women approach me about their interest in stepping up to serve their communities and their country. So it's exciting, and it's an exciting time on this International Women's Day to be part of this amazing class and inspiring other women at the same time.
It really is. And I think that the Democratic Party used to be the party more associated with being friendlier to women members of Congress. That has shifted. That has shifted drastically over the last 10 years. And all of the freshman members are great examples of that. Congresswoman Tenney, the House and the Senate used to be known as boys' clubs, old boys' clubs. There was a lot of we'll leave it there. But it was very challenging for women to sort of break into that grouping. Is it still like that in Washington?
I never found it to be that way. And I served in the state assembly, you know, the progressive state of New York, where everyone thought, oh, well, you know, this has got to be great for women's rights. I thought there was more of a boys' club and an insider club, even though there were women there, more so in the state assembly than I find in Congress. We have terrific members serving in the House. They're good. I have friends on both sides of the aisle. But I want to just give a quick shout out. We do have 2 incredible women leaders right here, new freshmen, Ashley Hinson and Stephanie Bice. They are tremendous. They're the future of our party. They're going to lead us into many great things. Women's issues are all issues. And it's really important that we continue to recognize that. And I just wanted a little shout out to my little community. The first women to vote in an election in New York State were in my district, Florence Chauncey, on January 5th, 1918 in Lisle, New York, right in my district. So we are making strides for women, and we have a great future. And I urge everyone to encourage their daughters to follow the example of these 2 great women who are on our panel today.
Congresswoman Bice, I wanted to ask you about the most recent global gender study, which came out about a year ago. It ranked the U.S. 53rd in the world in women's equality issues, behind countries that you probably wouldn't think. South Africa and Mexico were ahead of us. How much further does the United States have to go for women's equality?
Well, I think that we need to be looking forward to a 50-50 number in Congress and in the Senate. You know, right now there's, I think the largest number of women senators ever serving, but it's not enough. And so it's going to take, I think, work. And one of the things that we've realized, at least I've realized, is that women have to see other women in those roles to really understand that, hey, I can do that too. And so the fact that Claudia and Ashley and I are members of Congress, it really shows other women, don't be afraid to make that huge leap and do something great for your state or your country.
Final thought, Congresswoman Hinson, just because I know we had some issues with your audio in the beginning. Should International Women's Day, should March 8th be a federal holiday?
Well, I think we are celebrating it every day. Every day in our life is International Women's Day.
Right.
We're fighting for women and policies that are important to women. So I would love to see a federal recognition for it, but I don't think I need a holiday. I'm hard at work every day, and I celebrate being a woman every day. So my job here in Congress is to make sure that I'm focusing on policies that are good for women in Iowa, and good for women across the country.
Ladies, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much to the freshman members of the House of Representatives. Congratulations. We hope to have you back on. Congresswoman Tenney, always a pleasure seeing you as well.
Thank you.